behind our backyard is a hay field, say 15 acres. It's a big field. And we like that because obviously no neighbors in that direction, and it's nice to look at, and the seasons come and go. And last fall, a truck came in with surveyors in it.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, a bunch of backhoes showed up.
Oh no.
You know,
Close by, or like, do you think the whole parcel's gone?
We found out the whole thing was sold. The classic story, the old farmer died, and the children don't want to have anything to do with farming.
So what are they putting in?
We don't know. We don't know. So there's
Patio homes?
That's all public information. You can just go to your town hall and find out.
Right.
you know,
You
we had
could sabotage it.
Yeah. Get out.
Yeah.
Or sit down in front of the construction equipment. You and Cecilia and the dog.
I guess I just don't care because there's nothing we can do about it. But it's just, we had 10 good years of a nice field. And
So there's this piece of property. It was all woods, right, lines a park right next door, across from us. And it's about the property's about 100 yards from us. And same thing. Guy died. Didn't want the property anymore. He didn't live in the area, and his kids didn't want it, so they sold it. So they sold. We went, because we live so close. We were privy to, we got notices from the town saying this town meeting's happening to discuss the property near you. Blah 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 blah. And so this company was going to move in and put up this big fat giant building, and raise all the trees and the whole thing. And the neighbors and I all went over, and we kind of heard about it. But again, we couldn't do anything. I mean, there was nothing we could do. And they were kind enough to let us, hear it firsthand from them. So I'll never forget, it was the Monday after Memorial Day weekend, and I woke up to the sound of bulldozers and equipment just coming in and pushing like 30 acres of trees down. And it was like,
that's
just
tough.
cut me to the core. I was so sad. Like you, I was...
this is right across the street from you? Right across the road?
It's sort of diagonally across the road, yeah.
But within sight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was awful. I mean, all these beautiful stand of trees just gone. Wow. And these guys, driving along. How do you live with yourselves?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's that deep American tradition of ripping things apart. So what is it now? Is there a house?
It's a big fat fucking building. Yeah, it's a light industry.
Oh.
Originally they were proposing patio homes, same kind of thing, like a 2-story apartment building, then patio homes, and we went, but it was zoned for light industry, and they couldn't get the town to turn it over to residential. Thank God, because that would have just been. Because I don't know where we live. It's very quiet on our road, and we're right across from a park, and so that would have just been awful.
So people coming and going would have been worse than like an ugly gray building.
Absolutely, because it would have increased the traffic flow and our services, the community services, and utilities.
You couldn't play street hockey anymore.
Right.
Well, look at it this way: it's light industry. It could have been heavy industry. And
no, exactly.
Oh my God!
It could have been a chemical plant,
a quarry.
It's quiet at night. The weekends are quiet, so yeah, it's not a lot of traffic. So it's.
What do they make there?
They make nuclear power plant devices or something, or things for nuclear power plants.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad it's not like a weed factory. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't know.
Like, trick or treat!
Well, speaking of cannabis, I had a friend of mine gave me some gummies, and I had tried those before. The first time, everyone's like, oh, be careful, blah, blah, blah. So the first time I had like a quarter of one. And I'm like, okay, nothing. Second time I had half. Third time I had a whole. I'm like, okay, what is the deal? So finally I just had 2. And it was great.
You weren't drooling out of the side of your mouth?
Well, it felt like you were, it felt like I was, drunk pretty much. Like not super drunk, but mildly drunk and nicely drunk. It was great. It was like Quaaludes used to be. Did you guys ever? I don't know if you guys ever did.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I know. Those were the best. And it was just like that.
Yeah, that's good. Interesting.
In my lifetime, I've smoked half a cigarette and 2 marijuana cigarettes.
Marijuana.
And That's it. That's the only drugs other than alcohol I've ever had. And I quit. I couldn't stand the cigarette. I mean, knew I was done in 1 minute. And the marijuana made me feel like I weighed 1,000 pounds.
Yeah,
literally.
sometimes it does that.
And that was all I got out of it, just kind of inert. And so I never bothered with that again either. So I'm drug free, and
You're going right to the pearly gates, man.
God bless me.
Straight edge.
Come on in, Walt.
But cannabis is legal now, so God looks more kindly on it, I think.
That's true.
Or St. Peter.
When I was in Boston a couple of weeks ago, I smelled weed constantly.
Everywhere.
It was amazing.
I was in Home Depot yesterday, and like every contractor I went by, I'm not kidding. So my school, we sponsor this thing called the Step Challenge, original name. And I powered up my little watch here. But for the first time, I kept it on overnight so I could see my sleep patterns.
And?
That is super interesting. Well, I got like 8.1 hours of sleep. I've been sleeping really well lately for how stressed I am. I don't know why. Maybe it's just exhaustion. I mean, it was so interesting, though, to see those wave patterns,
And then how long you were awake on those little snippets of it, maybe 2 minutes or...
I was not awake for more than a minute during that period.
That's good.
That was when I went to the bathroom. I mean, it was, I don't know. But it's interesting how the REM sleep goes on and off. And
how does it measure that? We're back to the finger oxygen thing.
I think it might be movement. Is it movement?
It might be your pulse as well. Oh, we got to look that up too, don't we?
Could be.
Right.
It regulates your pulse of something. Not regulates, but monitors. My daughter told me once, and I forgot it because I have the mind of a sieve sometimes about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting to see. So I'm kind of curious, like on one of those nights where I just toss and turn, what it registers. I'd be very interested in that. Because, I mean, you do still toss and turn when you're asleep, but I know that if I can't get to sleep, it's just constant movement. Like all I'm doing is flapping around and trying to get comfortable. And so I don't know how it would register. That'd be interesting to see.
I don't like sleeping with anything on my wrist.
I don't either. I don't like wearing a watch in general, but that was really interesting. This one, it was only like $40, I wasn't going to invest.
Is that a Fitbit?
No, it's a knockoff. Oh. It's Huawei, right? They're probably spying on me right now. But, I didn't want to spend a lot of money on one because I thought I would never use it. And it's funny though, when I re-engaged with it, it has more features now. It buzzes when my phone rings. It shows me my texts for $40. You know what I mean? It's incredible. I can see my heart rate. I can see the temperature outside. I don't know. I think it's amazing what you can get for $40.
I don't feel like I want to know all that stuff.
Well, most of it I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I turned off those alerts on mine because it was not that I get like a zillion texts or anything or phone calls, but it was just it's constant.
Well, the reason I like that is because when I get a text, because I don't get that many, and sometimes I feel like, and because of my parents and shit, and
right.
I always think, oh, maybe it's important, and so now I can just look down and say, oh no, it's just my friend Barb, and I don't have to get up and check the phone.
It's kind of like when we finally got rid of our landline.
Yes.
And that was very difficult because all of a sudden I had to have my phone in the room, my bedroom.
Well, that you can't, I actually did this because I don't really like talking on this.
Yeah, I hate it.
So there's phones that you can get that connect. And so I have 4 handsets around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot better. I don't know why. I just don't like this flat thing. I like something that's a little more rounded.
You can't put it on your shoulder either. Like when you're...
No, you can't. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, I guess you could always use your... And the thing is, like, I don't want to walk around with these all day. And I can't... God, what a litany of complaints. I can't use earbuds.
I can't
because either. I get contact dermatitis from it. So
somebody must make, like those old shoulder hangers that you put on the phone.
Well, if not, Walt, maybe you just found a market niche.
Another one.
No, my brother had one. Like an old-fashioned phone handle that you could plug into your cell phone.
Yes.
Yeah, just a regular, what do they call it?
A handset.
A handset,
yes.
But it was just the the thing you put up to your ear and you
I
talk.
think I had one of those too. Now that I think about it.
So I had that. I had that for a while. I used that for a while.
See, when I'm not listening to podcasts, I don't even know where my phone is. I don't pay any attention to it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Here's something.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Viking cruises?
Are you going on one?
No, I would never do that.
Oh.
We're on their list for some reason. And I just noticed on the last page, Great Lakes Collection, 15 days, Toronto to Duluth. Through, I assume, the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
How much do you think it costs per person?
How long is it? 15 days?
15 days, Toronto to Duluth.
3,600.
$13,995.
Oh!
Wow.
What are you going to see between Toronto and Duluth?
You know what, though? Maybe it's not for U.S. and Canadian citizens. Maybe that's not the target market.
It's for Europeans who want to see grain elevators and...
Maybe. You know what I mean? Like the Great Lakes everyone knows them as the largest source of, fresh water and the largest
fresh water
inland lakes.
And they're deep and,
they sell us the Greek islands. And they sell Europeans the Great Lake experience.
Lake Erie. Well, luckily it wasn't in the 70s, else there'd just be garbage floating on everything.
Barrels.
Bodies. Body parts.
So, look in that little catalog and tell us what a 15-day trip to the Greek Isles is. They have one?
Yeah, I'd be interested in that. Some friends of mine, several friends of mine have done like those Danube cruises and said they were amazing.
I did one.
So maybe... You liked it?
Yeah, we did. We did a cruise to the Mediterranean with my mother. We started in Seville in Spain, ended up in Venice.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It was a small boat. It was a 100-person boat.
Oh.
So it was really nice and intimate.
100 people?
Yeah, it was only 100 people.
As opposed to 5,000?
Correct. It wasn't.
Wow.
It wasn't an apartment building on its side.
Yeah.
It was a regular boat, and we could zip into ports where all the big boats had to stay out, and they ride these little
cool.
These shuttle boats to come in.
So technically, what kind of boat was it? Do you remember? I mean, what would they have called that boat?
What kind of craft it was? I don't know.
Yes, craft. There you go.
Maybe
you can tell I'm a sailor.
A small cruise boat. I don't know because we went.
Was it a yacht?
Oh no, it's much bigger than that.
Okay.
Yeah, but 100 people is nothing.
Yeah,
I know, but the crew. There was probably 50 crew members and a couple decks and a full dining room.
Well, I guess for some
you
reason
had a couple of deaths. That's what I heard.
Decks.
It's like
kind of like hard-boiled cats.
Death on the 100-person boat.
Couple of deaths. There's only a 2% death rate. Yeah, I mean, I guess for some reason that cruise that he was just talking about reminded me more of like a river cruise because we did do like a Caribbean cruise and it was really fun, no doubt. I would do a cruise again. I mean, the one that you took, Bailey, sounds really nice.
It was really nice because it was a small boat and we had the programs were fantastic. We'd be on land for the whole day and it was more culture. It was run by a university and. It was Yale University cruise. My father used to go to Yale, and they called them Yale University cruises. And if you were alumni or family, and you could go on these cruises, and there would be a professor who was specialized in a certain thing you were looking at in the cruises.
Yeah,
and you had lectures, and it was fun.
I bet.
They have a list of ocean voyages, and they don't have any Greek islands. Well, they have Rome to Athens. That's 2,599.
For how many days?
How many days?
It's got to be 5.
8 days.
How many?
8.
Wow, that seems cheap.
Yeah. Well, I guess post-pandemic, they're struggling to get people.
Yes,
probably.
You're right, actually. Who's going to go on a cruise right now?
Then why is someone to this Great Lakes $13,000?
That's why that jumped out at me. I thought, what are we seeing here?
It's not a typo?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It is interesting to think of why that would be.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting.
It was.
The 100-person boat sounds good, but I don't think I could do a 5,000-person boat.
No, I couldn't, for sure.
You have to just realize, you have to have the Disney attitude here. You know what I mean? That it's just so planned and so plastic and so many multitudes. You just have to accept that. But, when we got off the boat, we did some really cool things. We did that dolphin thing. We did a stingray thing. We went to Key West, which I hadn't been before, and they owned a private island, the cruise line, and we went to the island, and that was fun.
When you go on the shore excursion, isn't it like a huge clusterfuck?
No, you just go on your own way in general. There's a lot of things that you can do, or you can just do what like you can pay for them, or you can just do what you want.
Yeah.
And in Key West, we just did what we wanted because I hadn't been there before, and we just took like their little tram ride and stuff. But like in Bahamas, that's where we did the dolphin thing.
Yeah. On our trip, it was like that. You had the choice of 2 different excursions on 2 parts of the day, in the morning and the afternoon, and you could do that, or you could just stay on the boat or do whatever you wanted to. So,
yeah, in a way, I mean, it's kind of nice because then, like, you don't have to figure out, okay, where are we going to go to dinner tonight?
Right.
Yeah.
Can we get tickets? And then you got to do all that.
Yes.
It's nice to have it be a no-brainer, for sure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you can see the appeal. And I think especially if you had a bunch of kids, that would be super appealing because, there's all kinds of shit for kids and people to take care of them, too. So you could go off and drink by the pool if you wanted to, whatever, I don't know. And there's this huge one that just got built, right? It's like, I don't know, taller than the Empire State Building.
Why?
I don't know. I can't remember how many guests and then staff, but maybe close to 20,000 or something.
Wow.
Just feels like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it?
I know.
I saw a video about people who live on cruise ships full time.
The oligarchs?
It's doable. There aren't that many, and they don't encourage it because they're not set up for full-time residents. But you can do it for about this one guy, by being very economical about it. He did it for $120,000 a year. So
yeah. See, that would appeal to me.
yeah.
It would.
And was he actually traveling, or was he just sort of sitting for months at a time at one place?
Yeah, when they were in dry dock, he lived.
Right.
His thing was
That's what
he would literally jump from the cheapest cruise to the cheapest cruise. So every 2
I see.
every 2 weeks.
Oh, so he couldn't stay on the same ship.
I thought he was on the same ship.
That's what I thought
If
too.
you do that, and then you still have to get off for dry docking and
Yes.
stuff. But if you do that,
Yeah.
it can be like $1 million or more to just stay on one.
I could see doing that. I think that'd be fun to do for like 3 or 4 months. I don't know.
Why wouldn't it be just as good to
Right.
like live in a motel in Orlando that has an Arby's next door? And
Come on.
what's the difference?
Come on.
You can look out the window and see the ocean. Big deal.
Orlando and Arby's, or, Cancun and lobster on the beach.
It's like,
You live in a $50 a day motel
God.
that's surrounded by fast food places. That's, to me, is like a cruise. But you don't get seasick.
that's so depressing.
What's the difference?
Cruising to heart disease. Wally, maybe there's another business opportunity for you. Maybe you could start some like cruises like that.
A cruise to heart disease?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, so what, you would not want to go on a cruise at all?
It doesn't interest me at all. I can't imagine what,
Yeah.
I don't know. They talk about the shows and oh my God.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do any of that.
And the idea of getting off and standing in line to get on a bus to go to a thing, to look at a thing. None of it is appealing.
Yeah. Well, I think you could plan it so that you didn't have to do that kind of stuff if you didn't want to. You could take advantage of the good stuff.
And I'm sure there are places or packages that are like the one that I went on, where smaller scale, and you go to places that aren't necessarily the hot spots for all the tourists. So
And wow, it's funny that you mentioned like the shows and stuff. The only thing that we really did like that on board the ship was one night they had this like parade of nations or something where because there's a couple of thousand staff on board, right? Mm-hmm. So they did this kind of parade with like country flags and had the staff from each country do this, and that was actually pretty cool. It was enjoyable.
stereotypes from around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. The people from like Polynesia had to wear a bone through their nose.
Right.
Yeah.
Big sombreros.
Yep. Sombreros from Mexico. Yep. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Stop.
Boy, that sounds like fun.
The Canadians were, eating beavers. Oh my God. I can't believe I just said that. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Jesus. What was I thinking of? Oh my God, I almost just drooled.
It was so funny to watch your face after you said it.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord.
God. Oh, ow, my stomach hurts. Ow, I'm not kidding. My stomach hurts.
I know. Which my back hurts.
Oh, oh my God. Oh. Okay. All right. So that was.
No,
Okay, so thanks for listening to Charbroiled Chats. I'm Grace.
I'm Beaver.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What was I just don't even know what I was thinking of. I was just trying to think of an animal that they're known for, and that was the only one that came up.
But you didn't go with carrying?
No.
Oh, thank you for that.
Canadians carrying beavers.